Hi lock lovers, it's that time again. I have to pop my locks. How do I know that I need to pop my locks? Because when I'm walking and the natural movement of my head, I'm feeling little stabs of, just tiny stabs of pain. Or I might feel like some locks are heavier than others, or as if one lock or a couple locks are just like hanging by a string sort of feeling. You freeformers know what I'm talking about. I am not a freeformer. I do twist the front of my locks, but you know what I'm talking about. When it feels like the lock is just hanging by a string, I know that it is time to go in and thoroughly pop those locks, separate each lock. Sometimes I hear lockers say, oh, my locks are so heavy, it looks like it's time for a trim, yada yada. It may not be that your locks are too heavy. It could be that you need to pop your locks. I'm talking about lock lovers who freeform or do not retwist. It may not be that your locks are getting heavier, but it feels like it's hanging by a string or way down because stray hairs are attaching to other locks nearby and hurting your head or pulling down on the the neighboring lock, if that makes any sense. But let me show you my hair, and it really needs popping. Okay, now this is an example of locks, two locks that need to be popped apart. Now these hairs make your hair feel like they're hanging from a string when there's any movement. When you move the locks in any direction, it feels like it's pulling and tugging, and it's a little bit painful, or it feels like the one lock is heavier than the other and you need to cut it, when in fact you really don't. You just need to pop that lock. So I will have to go in and separate all those hairs from each other. Let me show you another one. Here's another one. See where my finger is? That's another one that's tugging, making one feel heavier than the other, and making I don't just go in like a crazy person and start popping locks. No. You do not want to pop your hair when it is in its dry state. You want to do it when it's nice and wet, and particularly when you can bend it and manipulate it even more. And to help that, you can use maybe marshmallow root or okra water or the flaxseed gel. Any of those will do, because you want something that has a lot of mucilage in it to help stretch the hair without breaking it, because remember, you want the hair to shed into the lock, not outside and have thinner locks. So the mucilage is going to help stretch it nicely without breaking it apart, so that you can nicely pop your locks. Now I'm not going to do a flaxseed tutorial. A flaxseed gel is just taking a handful of flax seeds, putting it in a cup of water or two, and putting it on the stove in a pot and bringing that water to boil. Once that water gets nice and foamy, the flaxseed water / gel is ready to be used. You take it out, let it cool. You can use a cheesecloth, a stocking, knee-high to strain and separate the seeds from the mucilagey water. And you're going to take that water, either when it's warm or hot or cold, whichever is your preference, and go in there and pop your locks. And it's the same thing for okra water. Boil the okras like you normally would for your nice side dishes, and the water from that okra, you can use that to separate your locks. But for the okra water, it's best to let it cool, and the cooling process helps it to thicken. So you can put that in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and once that starts to thicken a little bit, you'll see it the mucilage of it comes out. And the same process that you use for flaxseed gel, you're going to use for marshmallow roots. So they're all in the same family. The only exception to the process is the okra water. The okra water you want to leave in the refrigerator to bind the water to that mucilagey part, so that you can use that to separate and pop your locks. the watery byproduct of flaxseed, marshmallow, and okra water is very good mucilage for popping your locks.
I said yes, baby.
So these are my locks after they've been popped with some flaxseed and okra water. I used okra water with it because I didn't have enough flaxseed to put in the water. But this is what you can do to eliminate that heavy hair feeling or that hanging by a thread feeling. And to make sure that I've popped all of those locks, I just go in like a fan and separate each lock like that. See if I experience any pulling or tugging, and I'll do that for the entire length, and so far I feel nothing, so my locks are popped. I hope this has helped some of you guys who do not retwist, or if you freeform but you like to see some parts. Okay, lock offers, until next time, bye.